serious. Trey Gowdy is a South Carolina Republican. He has questioned Eric Holder several times on this. He's on both the Judiciary Committee and the House the House Committee on Oversight and Government Reform. And, sir, good morning to you. You have been vocal from the very beginning. You put out a statement late last night. You said the Attorney General has chosen not to do the right thing, so we must. And what now?
Well, it's funny, Bill. Alexander Hamilton once worried that the judiciary would not be powerful enough. And we saw yesterday morning the judiciary resolves disputes between the legislative branch and the executive branch. And once again, with Eric Holder, we'll go to the court system. Criminal contempt probably won't go anywhere. The U.S. Attorney in the District of Columbia is likely not to prosecute the criminal contempt. So we'll go to the D.C. federal court system for civil contempt, and we'll see whether this late invocation of executive privilege is warranted or not. The bad news for those who want answers, and despite what the Attorney General says, this has nothing to do with politics.
Yeah,
I just want to know what happened.
I want to ask you about that, too, but I also just want to, do you think the House has gone as far as it can on this issue?
Yes, unless information comes from other sources. And as you know, there are whistleblowers and other interested parties that do provide information to us from time to time. But I don't suspect we'll get any more information from the Department of Justice. All right,
this is the vote.
Sad.
This is the vote late yesterday afternoon on criminal contempt, 255 to 67. 17 Democrats broke with Republicans voting yes. On civil contempt, 258 to 95. 21 Democrats breaking with Republicans on yes. What about the politics of that vote, sir?
Well, there was a lot of pressure to not break ranks, and some of these Democrats, both on the floor publicly with their vote and even more privately, want the same thing we want. They want to know what happened. But when the former Speaker Pelosi couches this argument in racial terms, when you politicize it and demagogue it as a political issue, it puts a lot of pressure on Democrats not to break ranks. So I appreciate those who put the pursuit of justice ahead of politics yesterday. And as you say, in Washington, when one goes the other way, it makes it bipartisan. So this was overwhelmingly bipartisan.
Well, what did you think of the Democrats walking out on that vote?
I don't know what purpose that serves. I try hard not to judge other people's motives. I happen to like Elijah Cummings, the ranking member on Oversight, as a person. It just cheapens the body when you politicize things that should not be political. And the pursuit of a criminal justice matter, if anything in the world should not be political, it should be that. So I wish they'd stayed. I wish they'd voted, but they don't usually look to me for political advice. So.
You mentioned this racial issue. How do you respond to that when it's Nancy Pelosi, the House Minority Leader, or other Democrats who suggest that it's Eric Holder and some of the voter rights laws that he's pursued in various states, that this is a mere reaction to that? What would you say?
Well, I've said a few things in the past that have gotten me brought into the principal's office. I said it was mind-numbingly stupid last week on Greta's show, and it remains mind-numbingly stupid. And I'll tell you what, Bill, all the Democrats other than Ms. Pelosi that I have heard ask that question have demurred and refused to go along with her conspiracy theory. What else can she say? The facts aren't on her side. The American people aren't on her side. So she wants to appeal to the basest instincts in people and accuse folks of racial animus. I don't mind if people say I'm dumb. I don't mind if people say I talk slow, but she has no idea what motivates me to pursue this. And the fact that we're in an election year, Bill, is because he wouldn't give us the documents last year, which, if memory serves, was an odd-numbered year. So the only reason we're in a presidential year is because he has obfuscated and delayed. And this started well before Eric Holder started suing states over voter ID. I'll tell you another thing that's instructive, Bill. I asked the Attorney General last time he was before Judiciary, is it possible to believe in good faith that you should have to show an ID to vote? And he said, absolutely. I don't judge your motives. I find it instructive that Eric Holder gives us more of a break with respect to our motives than Pelosi does.
Just one more quick thing. Have you had contact with Brian Terry's family since yesterday?
I have not. I feel certain Chairman Issa has, who, by the way, has done yeoman's work on this.
Okay.
the last time I spoke to Brian Terry's family was in a committee hearing. I'm sure Chairman Issa and the oversight staff have.
All right, Trey Gowdy, Republican from South Carolina. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Bill.
Sir.
Yes, sir.